Thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you all. And thank you. Thank you. Here today to talk about the Realtor Action Fund and kind of give you a little bit of information about it in case anyone has forgotten or if you're new to this. The Realtor Action Fund is C.A.R's Political Action Committee. And the money that is raised for the Realtor Action Fund, or RAF is what we call it, little acronym, RAF, it helps raise money to put realtor-friendly candidates in office on the local, state, and federal level. And that money is also used to help us work with our elected officials. So the bottom line is, the money, the Realtor Action Fund money, literally helps helps to make good laws get passed and bad laws defeated. And there's so many laws out there, so many bills that are introduced out there. I know I was here about 1.5 years ago and I had asked a question. I don't know if anyone remembers, but does anyone know how many bills are actually introduced in Sacramento alone in a 2-year legislative cycle?
About 10,000.
How many?
10,000.
It's about 5,000. I don't know if I heard that, but it's about 5,000 bills. Okay, wonderful. You remember it. Of those 5,000, and this is, like I said, this is Sacramento alone. This isn't the federal government. It's not local, and I know you all have issues on the local side. Of those 5,000 bills, about 1,500 of them actually pertain to the real estate industry, and it's typically in a negative way. And that's why we have our group of legislative advocates who work out of Sacramento. They watch out for every one of these bills so they don't affect our membership. But having those funds available absolutely helps. We need to make sure that we have realtor-friendly candidates in office so you can thrive. I want to just go over some of the bills, really important bills. They're all important, but the ones that really could have made a difference in your business over the past several years. And keep in mind, almost every bill that we fight comes back again, comes back under a new bill name, a new bill number. So for instance, we had the $225 per transaction recording fee, which was a transfer tax. That is something that C.A.R. has fought over the past few years, and it's actually going to probably be a threat again. Basically, what the state wanted to do is tax each document in a transaction. Typically, there's about 3 documents. Each document would cost $75. So with the 3 documents, we're up to about $225. That would have been tacked on. 3% independent contractor withholding, that has been an issue that we keep watching out for. And I can ask you, I already know the answer, but I'll ask you anyway. Any of you, would you be okay if the state withheld 3% of your income, your hard-earned money? I don't think so. Pardon me? Yeah, that would be very upsetting. Point of sale bills are always an issue. I know they're an issue on the state side as well as the local. A couple of years ago, we had the bill where the state wanted to make sure everyone retrofitted their home before they could sell it. That alone would have been an incredible amount. New plumbing system, new electricity system, new windows before you could sell a house. Your clients would probably be spending about $20,000 before the transaction could actually close. And I can tell you that would probably kill almost every transaction out there after your hard work and showing the home and so on and so forth. Another issue has been a service tax, and this is another issue that we're looking out for again for 2015 because it could be a threat. But a service tax, the state is looking to implement on all services. So that would be all real estate related services, title, escrow, inspections, carpet cleaning. I mean, I can go on. And that would easily tack on a few $1,000s at the close of escrow. And that wouldn't again, it would be very, very difficult for a lot of people to sell. I don't know, how many of you were aware of the red alert that was sent out in August? I know that we targeted this area. And that's the other thing, please be mindful of the red alert emails that C.A.R. sends out. We were able to fight this particular bill, avoid it. It was a lien. They called it a different kind of lien. And basically, it was similar to a mechanic's lien, but it would mean that if this bill had passed, if somebody did work on your property and they did not feel that they were adequately compensated, they could attach a lien onto your property without any due process. That would have been horrible for the industry, but C.A.R. was able to avoid that. Again, we did send a red alert about this. We were able to fight it. We did have a pretty good response, but please make sure when you do get a red alert in that you respond to it, and I urge your colleagues to respond as well. Some of the threats for 2015 still include the mortgage interest deduction. We're keeping a very close eye on that on the federal side. Mortgage reform is underway as we speak, and we do not know how that will turn out, but please be aware of that. You may be getting a call for action from NAR. You may be getting a red alert from C.A.R. But the bottom line is, on top of everything else, go back to the Realtor Action Fund, having good people in office who understand our business and our industry and sympathize with homeowner and private property rights is key. It really is. All I can say is please consider giving to the Realtor Action Fund because it will ultimately protect your business and your industry. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Lynn. We appreciate the support we get from C.A.R. and we're thrilled to announce those numbers in front of you that this year we're up to 16% of our members that have already signed up, paid their dues, have contributed to the cause.
That is awesome.
And they understand it, and that's a significant increase from where we were a year ago. I think Tom Berge Jr. deserves a lot of the credit, and of course the staff and the directors have changed some things around and made it easier for the members, so it's great. It's kind of exciting. It's a new time, a new year, January 1st of the year, and everybody's kind of looking in to see what they can do and what they can change, and in a political spectrum, that's important as well. We have a lot of issues that we're going to be fighting on a local issue. I appreciate that you guys have answered the call and stepped up. Those funds, a portion of those funds stay here in our local association. It's about 30% of what you give. The other 70% goes to the state and to the federal. Those monies are very critical for you political junkies. You'll understand that there's hard dollars and soft dollars, and those monies that you give to donate are hard dollars, and they can be used in a lot of different ways. Last year, NAR gave more money to candidates than any other association, any other trade organization. So we're very proud of that. I mentioned last year that throughout that money, about half of it was given to Republicans and half of it was given to Democrats. But we want a seat at the table when the mortgage interest deduction is being discussed. It's not our view that mortgage interest deduction is a special interest. And that's one of the things you're starting to hear out there. They're saying, oh, we have to eliminate these special interests, and mortgage interest deduction is a special interest. Well, mortgage interest deduction affects as wide a group as anybody as far as a deduction, and it's core to home ownership and to community involvement and the American dream. Okay. I wanted to talk a little bit, just briefly, about some of the things we're doing with our local money. And we have a membership at the San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership. And it's a good group, and a lot of you may have been exposed to it. They're active legislatively, and they're active with our elected officials. They recently sent out a survey. They sent it to me, and I asked Albert to send it to the members. And I know not everybody's going to take it, but if you're a broker, if you have an office, take the time to go through that survey. It only takes a few minutes. There's about 10 or 12 questions, and they're multiple choices, just yes or no. And then they have you rank a number of issues as to what you feel is important for 2015, what you would like to see the legislature focused on, like the jobs or the economy or business fees or taxes or planning and permits or things like that. And a lot of those issues are core to what we're doing. So hopefully you'll take the time to do that and give them that feedback and give them the ammunition that they need. One of the issues that is pressing going forward is rent control for the county. So everybody knows that LA City has rent control, and if you've sold properties down there or you own properties down there, you've dealt with that housing department. Well, we're getting a change at the county supervisor. So we're having, Mike Antonovich is going to be stepping down. We're getting some new members. If you look at the track record of those new members, they're very pro rent control. And we need to, again, try and stem this off. It would affect all the areas like City Terrace or like there's parts of the county here in St. Gabriel. So all those areas that are unincorporated that would fall under LA County would be affected by that. So they are looking out for us. BizFed is another association that we're have bought a membership to, and they do a similar thing but at the county level. And I know the other was county as well, but the other was more specific to the San Gabriel Valley. LAFBOR is another one that is our LA County Board of Realtors, and we're involved with that as well. And then a couple things that I want to attack this year are our own membership to make sure that we're registered to vote. NAR is having a big campaign. C.A.R., I believe the number at C.A.R. was we have 36,000 realtor members that are not registered to vote. And so we need to kind of examine our membership and see if we're registered to vote and if we're voting. We're not going to tell you how to vote, but we would like you to vote. One of my pet projects is Prop 13, and they're going after Prop 13. They have for a long time. Sacramento would love to change that. The LA County would love to change that. The City of Los Angeles Council had a vote to form a commission to look into changing Prop 13. What you hear most often is split roll. So if you take your homeowner's deduction on the property, you would be entitled to Prop 13. But if you're not, then you would not get the Prop 13 protection, which means second homes, investment homes, your business, commercial properties, all of those would then not be protected by Prop 13. And Prop 13 used to be called the third rail of California politics, that like on the subway where you have the two train tracks, but then you have the third rail, which is the power rail. And if you touch that rail, you're electrocuted. And they used to say that this was the third rail of California politics because anybody who dared to mess with Prop 13 would be political suicide. And I think we're losing that. And I think there's a lot of people now and a lot of new homeowners that don't even know what Prop 13 is. And so we're gonna try and put some things together in our community, and it may be even a bigger problem in our community than in the state as a whole, because we have people moving in who are not familiar with the history of it. Prop 13 went into effect in about 1978, and what it did was it capped your property tax so that it could only go up 2% a year. Prior to that, it would go up with the value. And if you own property like Bob Bodkin owns property in Oregon. In Oregon, you don't have Prop 13, right? So your property tax can go up 20% in a year, 50% a year, depends on what the values do. Anyways, that's one of my pet projects this year. Our state assemblyman is Ed Chow. He's the chair of the housing committee in Sacramento. And one of his issues this year is privacy. He's chair of the privacy, and it's drones. We're starting to hear a lot about drones. You mentioned the Tournament of Roses. I got a memo on drones for the parade this year because we were concerned about protecting the airspace. So it's happening. We're seeing them, people use them for real estate marketing. They'll take pictures of the properties with drones. The UPS is said to be working on a system to deliver packages by drones. So it's coming, but it certainly raises a lot of privacy issues. And then we got a new state senator, and his name is Ed Hernandez. We lost Kevin De Leon, which was unfortunate because he's now Speaker of the State Senate. But we in exchange, we got Ed Hernandez, who is from Covina. He's a doctor, a medical doctor by trade, so his issues are mostly health-oriented, but he's a very smart guy. He welcomed us. Tom and I met him at a function here recently, and he was genuinely interested in what we had to say as realtors. So we have part of our LCRC money, which goes to candidates, went to Stephen Sham, who won his election in Alhambra in the past few months in November. And we also donated money to Cynthia Sternquist in Temple City, who has an election coming up in March. And then Monterey Park also has a council race. You know, we had a big victory in Monterey Park about a year and a half ago when we got them to eliminate their home inspection, their point of sale home inspection, and we were active in that. So we want to stay active in these local council races, and we know that most of the state senators and assemblymen come from the city councils. So if we're able to develop these relationships now, that going forward we'll have a better relationship when they get to Sacramento. Hopefully we can make a bigger impact. And that's all I'm going to say. Should I take some questions?